Check it out, everybody. Isn't that a change of scenery? We've decided to go north, because north is definitely that way to you. For something different today, mostly because the weather's better. And as you can see, there's a pretty cool line of reef mines running right along this way. But the reason why I'm puffed out is not because I just walked. Not at all, in fact. It is because I was walking down through here, and it is mid/late August at the moment. We've got some really cool old mines where they've chased a line of reef right along that way. Gone in underground there. But I got to about here and was looking around this little pile here looking for crystals. And right in front of me, right there, was a brown snake about 4 feet long. And I kid you not, he slithered, or she for that matter, into that little crack right there. She must have just been coming out to sun itself for a bit. But just a heads up, folks, they're out and about already. I cannot believe the size of that crack that it slid into. I would not have thought a snake could even, that just doesn't make any sense to me. But it fit right in there. And that gap, there's my hand for perspective. Wow. But different countryside today. Don't really know what to expect, but we've started in the usual spot at the reef mines. But there's not much quartz laying around here. No luck so far. This is the sort of thing we're looking in though. They're little mine dumps. You can see all the slate, but no crystals yet. These are the signs we're looking for though. There's some nice quartz with some oxidized iron on the surface. Shows that there was some cavity there for the crystals to form once upon a time. And some very rich looking rocks. See if we can't find some crystals. Just looking where it's all freshly worn away. I think some quartz that's almost clear. And we could be on the right track. But the dilemma here is we know that the crystals that get found here are water worn. That would suggest an old riverbed or something to actually wear the quartz down, which we don't often get from reef mines. We just thought this is a good place to start, a new area. Start off at the reef mines and go from there. See what we can do. This is more what we're looking for here. No crystals yet, but that's the actual mullock heap there, where it's all just a leftover slate, whereas this off to one side is a waste rock pile. So any of their quartz or ore that wasn't worth taking away and crushing, this is where it wound up. But God, you see some pretty rocks amongst them. I don't know if you can see the rainbow effect in that and all the bands, but that is just, for a rough rock, that is pretty. Changed tack a little bit because those reef mines up on the hills were not really showing up anything at all. So we've come to a different spot where we know that there's old alluvial workings from an old riverbed. And Tay just found that little kitty. That it won't focus on, but and they're the water-worn crystals like we're looking for, which makes sense being ancient riverbed, but we just thought we'd have a look first and see if we could see where they were shedding from and reverse it a bit. But so far, just poking around and they're on the ground again. I'm going to take the detector for a little walk and see if we can't try and find both. Haven't come too far at all there, and just checking out a bit of erosion on a little bank here where there's a bit of a creeklet, and there was a crystal. Then I looked away and now it's gone. Oh, here it is. Can you see? Can you see? That's a sweet little point. So I found where the main part of the actual creek is that runs along the bottom of the gully here. And there hasn't been heaps of stuff, to be honest. I sort of thought with there being a, you know, we're looking for things that are essentially gravel. Surely where the gravel is concentrated there will be a lot, but so far, meh. But this is pretty cool. Thought it was glass at first, but that's not. That's definitely rock crystal. Definitely. There's not much face left. It looks very glassy. And that's just in the old riverbed. Basically just walking along, noodling a bit until I found that the size of the rocks that were dropping out started to get a bit bigger. A bit more the size that we're looking for, so that's cool. Way too noisy for this little bugger. Watch this. So much ironstone. Not here for that. Hey, that's a pretty one. So soft looking. Nice and water worn. Whew. Back to flanking the little creek bed down here. Here's a dry creek bed with a bit of water up there. It could be handy. And back on the crystals, it seems to be better just following this dry creek bed, actually. Because have a look at this. Rocks, 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 rocks. Ooh, not just a rock. Come to me. Pop. Shit. Where'd it go? As if I just disappeared that rock. I can see a smoky quartz sitting just under there too. And another crystal there. Well, this seems to be a little patch. If only I knew where I just flicked that good crystal. What did it's right in front of my eyes. Okay. So, isn't that lovely? Oh yeah. And right beside that, right there, is a lovely smoky quartz point. Or as they call them, Cairngorms. I think that's a pretty dodgy name, to be honest, but... And right beside that, come to me. Hat trick. Oh. 4. What else? Very cheeky little patch. But how's that? Shit hot. That was fruitful. We have quite a lot of nice stones in there. They're all water worn, but that's kind of pretty in itself. Have a look at that. Yeah.
Quite a few nice ones.
That's the one you saw me find earlier. Really, really pretty ones.
Smoky ones.
Cairngorm. Terrible name for a crystal. Sounds like something that you'd see a doctor to get removed. But that's what we're after. I think we might finish up at this spot.
Yep. Different spot.
And go and suss out a couple other spots that we've got in mind and make use of this last little bit of daylight. So we have left that spot and gone up onto the hills back where the reef mines are, just to see if, looking around, seeing if there's anything coming out of the actual reef mines themselves. And we weren't expecting to find water-worn crystals up here though. Go figure. What we're trying to decipher is whether these crystals are shedding from the quartz reefs or whether they're shedding from nearby granite. Now, there's no riverbeds up here that we know of. There is a crystal though. Now to find the riverbed. Straight in to reef mine country. Now this one's really cool. Can still see some of their old timbers there. And she is deep. How deep? Well, that's a very deep one. I don't know how well you could hear that, but... Hoo-hoo. We'll count that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 to 4 seconds. I think about falling for 3 to 4 seconds. Ooh. And here we have water-worn quartz. We're almost up on top of the hill here, which does make a bit of sense for ancient riverbeds sometimes. Haven't found any crystals yet, but this is definitely what we're looking for. If you're looking for any kind of water-worn crystal or gemstone at all, a good place to look is where there's already water-worn stones. Seems pretty obvious. You can see this. None of this quartz is very jagged or anything like the last place we're at. Hopefully we can find a crystal. And the ancient riverbed just went on and on and on. Back up there further, you could see that's where we were, where I got that last nice big flat one, was where a machine had actually scraped and worked the ground, but as we sort of followed the old riverbed, it just came into a big potholed gully like this one. But it's getting dark. But we're pretty happy with that.
Yeah, food it.
Look pretty rough, but give them a clean up and there'll be some nice clear pieces. Awesome. How's this whole gully? Amazing the way they just hammered it back in the day. Thousands of people out here digging like mad. Until next time, thanks for watching. See you around.